Duncan, Orel Jones, Camino Robotics.
Yes, that's right. Can everyone hear me?
Dun- yes, I can hear you and I can see you. Do you have a presentation?
I do. Here we go.
By the way, your banner on the other side, it looks like a mirror image
Oh, is it really?
behind you. But the presentation looks okay. So go ahead and go to presentation mode.
So yeah, thank you everyone for inviting me to pitch. As you can see from this image, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Camino Robotics. The company's brand is Camino Mobility. As you can see, we're focused on the issue of elderly mobility, which over the sort of 5 to 10 years before I started the company, I became progressively aware of this almost being like a silent pandemic in a way. My friends, my parents, progressively, I was seeing more and more folks dealing with issues of mobility. And in the case of my father, it was Parkinson's. In the case of my mother, it was a fall, followed by a sedentary spiral, frankly. And she went from being seemingly as fit as a fiddle to passing in 18 months after the fall. And this sort of thing is happening way too often, right? And it's sort of happening hidden away. And the sad thing is all the science shows that getting people to walk more has huge impacts on people's health span. But there's too many people who are afraid of falling or have mobility challenges. 30% of people over
Ya, yo te voy a
65,
criticar todo. Alguien que.
30% of the 30% of the people over the age, according to an AARP survey, 30% of people over the age of 65 have some issue with mobility. And yet, these are the kinds of devices that are available for people. I just was continued to be, frankly, flabbergasted for my father that this is a sort of device was available in a world where almost everything that we touch is being, touched by human-centered design, power assist. Look at the number of people zipping around on e-bikes now that wouldn't have ridden a bike previously. We're asking people to push these stigmatizing devices, which they resist using. They're actually difficult to push for many people who struggle to move their own bodies. They're super cumbersome to live with. They don't fold easily like a baby stroller. And the thing that really sort of came to light to us as we spoke to more and more healthcare folks is that these things are dumb. They're not actually helping with any kind of care at all. No insights to inform care, what have you. So we built a team. I was fortunate to be introduced to Bill Gross, bit of a legend in the startup world. He founded probably the first tech incubator called Idea Lab Studio out of Pasadena. Started over 150 companies. I think it's probably approaching 200 now, with a huge success rate. It turns out he'd been observing and thinking about the exact same problem, similarly baffled as me. By the way, my background is not in medical. I was an executive at Disney. I ran their Asia digital business for many years, and was CEO of a venture-backed music startup. After I sold that, I introduced Bill and said, like, I'm going to quit my media career and join forces with you. Ivar is a multi-startup CTO, has worked on a bunch of things with Bill over the years, and brings sort of a superpower to us is that he's a recovering quadriplegic, and is now back to just walking with a walker. So it has all kinds of insights for us, which are invaluable. And then we have a range of engineers across software, AI and data science, a couple of Stanford educated mechanical engineers, one focused on control systems, one on the mechanical side. So it's kind of a superstar team of engineers, supported by Bill and I as folks who've gone through the ringer in terms of running businesses and startups. So what have we built? The world's first smart walker. This is an image of the device. We focused on really designing it to communicate activity rather than disability, and we've had really, really positive response. Obviously, some accolades from some of the most prestigious design awards in the world. Incredible response from users themselves who view it as sort of changing the way they look, right? That you get identified essentially when you're standing behind one of these devices. So that's the device itself. But then the interesting part ends up being around the fact that this is a power assisted device. So it's got power and batteries in it. There's three main buckets there. We think of it as like the Tesla of walkers because now we've got power, we've got sensors and what have you. We're able to sort of gradually and progressively make the device get smarter over time, unlock new features, provide more data and what have you. So those buckets are Camino Assist, which is automatic power assist. The user does nothing other than turn it on, and it's automatically adapting the power to the environment. So they no longer have to push it. Which for those of us who don't have to push these around may not seem like a big deal, but I promise you, I'll show you in a video a little bit of one of our pilot users. and the kind of response we're getting. The second bucket is around more safety-oriented things we call Camino Guardian. So it automatically brakes when you're going down hills. You don't have to use your arthritic hands to use brakes that don't work well. Take your hands off, a parking brake goes on automatically. If you go to sit down the device, we know you've turned around, and we leave the parking brake on so it won't scoot away from you, something that happens to lots of patients. And things like automatic headlights that come on at night, just like your car would. And then it starts to get really interesting around the embedded AI. We're not using AI in the cloud. We have managed to develop a model that works on the device that provides a bunch of gait-related analytics. And I'll expand on that more in a little bit. But very quickly, there in terms of progress, we've developed all the core technology. We've got through all of the regulatory challenges, which was a real burden for us in the last year and a half. So all the power assist systems, the embedded AI system for gait analytics. So we're using video, but we don't keep any of the video. It's all processed on the device, which is super difficult to do, frankly. Hybrid AI-enabled braking system, as I mentioned, mobile app, all developed, cloud backend, all built, including fleet monitoring and all of the necessary regulatory requirements around cybersecurity. We've had one patent granted, a second one's being filed, and a third one should be filed this month. So there's a video here which actually we didn't shoot. This was shot by a German semiconductor company who we're using some of the components. They love what they're doing. This was done in conjunction with AARP. The two of them came to us and said, we want to feature your device. So this is a small segment out of the video from one of our pilot users. I had no real involvement in this. So everything she's saying was from her. And then at the end, there's a doctor whose badge is blurred. It's actually one of our advisors from a huge value-based care provider. He has to be very circumspect about what he says because he can't be seen to be endorsing the product on a video within his company. But if you were to speak to him, which he's willing to do, by the way, he is incredibly enthusiastic about the potential of our device. So I'll roll the video.
This rollator has been a lifesaver for me. It's got built-in technology that I haven't seen in any other device that I've used since my stroke in 2020. I like the fact that it's so lightweight, and it helps me when I'm going on an incline to just kind of keep me going along. And when I hit a decline, I can feel it slightly pulling or braking. I should be moving more because I can walk, and I don't want to lose the ability that I have. I think it's important to exercise. This thing has an app, and on the app, it tells me how far I've gone. It has a speed gauge, which tells me how fast I'm going. That's really helpful because then I can set little personal goals. A half mile this time, I'll go a mile next time, a mile and a half next time.
Why do people stop ambulating when they get older? Decrease in strength, decrease in balance, decrease in stamina. So a solution that addresses that would be very helpful. But the problem is most of the solutions that offer that today are not things that people care to use. So if you can come up with a device that allows continued ambulation that doesn't have a stigma, that would be really helpful for the elderly to be able to use. I would buy one for my own parents who refuse to use walkers, but are okay using a fancy looking cane. Now, if you could take such a device and add technology to it that would also help me determine whether they're ambulating as much or they're at risk of falling in the future. What's the number one problem with elderly that are walking? They have a fall, they sustain a fracture, that has a very high secondary mortality rate and a significant morbidity rate. So if we can prevent that, that would be fantastic.
Other quick feedback from pilot and test users. Joy to use, fun and motivational. We heard that one a lot. The idea it's motivational, the fact that they know that the device is watching them, it can be reporting out to the family members or to a care provider, what have you. The looks of it, it's huge enthusiasm around that. More confident, even things about the headlights, going to a movie theater and having the lights come on. The 3 times further is really interesting, right? So this is someone's prediction, but we had test users actually wear Fitbits before getting the device, and we saw people walk as much as 5 times more with our device over what they were doing before. Why? So this is the AI piece. So cameras, AI system embedded. We're able to generate about 26 different gait metrics. You may ask yourself, why do we care about gait? And it's because it's the 6th vital sign. It can be a really interesting indicator of underlying conditions, but also really important from a rehab standpoint. I run this video very quickly, which shows the AI system really working. So you know that it's real. The video is actually slowed down to half speed. The feet at the bottom left is what the AI is actually predicting in terms of location of feet. We have the same data points for all of the key points on the legs. So we can recreate their limbs in three-dimensional space and then generate a bunch of metrics. We get thousands of data points off the device per minute. And then if you look to the right here, you can see some of the types of, this is very, very high level, some of the data we're getting around the types of data, by the way, that inform things like prediction for fall risk, stability, but also really, really key for someone in the rehab space to be helping someone recover back to normal walking. So again, sixth vital sign, wrap up here very quickly. I feel like I'm at the Academy Awards. In terms of where this goes clinically, there's three major buckets, right? The idea that we can raise red flags around changes in gait, changes in activity, instability, risk increase, what have you. Then it's about taking care of folks who need to go through rehab. There's a whole bunch of different reasons why people are going through that, both chronic as well as ongoing. And then on the treatment side, it's really around being able to actually track progressions, give personalized treatments, etc. All of that gets unlocked by the data we're providing. The vision here is that we started out just building a better walker. We've already got AI embedded. We're expanding the monitoring as additional health sensors, but also integration into record systems, what have you. We've got more safety features that are coming. And then ultimately, we believe that we can be very predictive and actually diagnostic around conditions. The model is initially consumer, cash pay. We've got hundreds of customers on a wait list, inbound interest from distributors around the world. One in the US, we're deep into engagement discussion with one of the biggest distributors. We're talking about having them come on board on the cap table early next year. They're super interested because they see us essentially having reimagined the whole category. The B2B side, this is really a reflection of what we've heard from folks, frankly. So we've got an LOI from one of the largest value-based care providers in the West Coast. We're in contracts already for pilots to start. They should start towards the end of this year, beginning of next year. We've got a grant-funded clinical trial in planning with a major rehab hospital. Multiple retirement communities lined up for pilots. The opportunities are huge. We're hearing from this healthcare system that they could use the thing in hospital for assessment of patients, for discharge, virtual PT, et cetera, et cetera. I'll pause there. I'll stop there and let you ask questions. I finished with a couple of, we've done almost no marketing, but we're going to gear up marketing next year. And here's some of the collateral we'll be using. And that's our website. And again, please reach out to me if any of you are interested. We're raising money over the next few years to get into manufacturing and get the first couple hundred devices out to end users, but also to get through some of those pilots and the clinical trials with B2B partners.
Great. Thank you very much, Duncan. You can stop sharing. We'll get the judges on screen and any questions from judges.
Yeah, Duncan, how are you thinking about, I guess I'll ask the question two ways. How are you thinking about the pricing model if it's the consumer buying it direct? And then how are you thinking about the pricing model if a health system is going to buy it for the health system?
Yeah, running out of time there, so skipped over that. So in the short run, it'll need to be a cash pay for a consumer. So the long-term vision here is that we're more in the B2B business, we are in the consumer business, although I think we'll probably always have a consumer element. In the short run, there are DME reimbursements for rollators, but they're small. And so we've spent a lot of time at retirement communities speaking to patients and what have you. And the idea of paying several $1,000s for a device like this is slam dunk for many of these people because of what it can do for them from a lifestyle standpoint. Ultimately, we do believe there'll be a DME reimbursement, just like there was a power wheelchairs. And then on the B2B side, we're hearing all kinds of things from those different, potential partners, frankly. The one that is intriguing to me is the idea that we're providing hardware as a service, for example, to a hospital system, where we provide the device. They don't have to worry about even buying them. It's a service that they've got. They are then using it for a range of things around assessment of patients for discharge, but then they can discharge the patient with the device. Now, all of a sudden, they're getting insights into the patient after the discharge. It reduces the risk of readmission. And if the person actually gets through rehab, it doesn't need anymore, great. Then we recycle that and provide it to somebody else. That'll be both a marketing channel for us also, but a really interesting revenue channel. What exactly that looks like in the world of retirement communities, we don't yet know. But in the physical therapy world, obviously there are already reimbursements for remote therapy monitoring. The data needs to be gathered. We can share in that revenue and provide really rich data to therapists that don't exist. I mean, the only way for someone to actually assess someone's gait today is to drag him into a clinic at great effort. And now all of a sudden we can do all this stuff remotely. You can do most of the standardized tests can be done remotely, et cetera. So we're really interested in the opportunity to explore exactly what that looks like from a business model standpoint.
And one really quick question, kind of a fun question. Can I take it on the airplane, or can my grandma take it on the airplane?
Today, the pilot device is no, but yes, that will be. And when it's one of the things we'll ramp up with the fundraising we're going to do over the next few years. It's a fairly simple thing, actually. It's just having a removable battery, but we're moving quickly, right? So today, the pilot users have had to, unfortunately, stay off the planes.
Okay.
Another question. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Laurie.
A question is that once you're porting data to a physical therapist, right? How do you get it to them? What EHR are you using, or what are you exploring that now?
Yeah,
And how would they see it? How do you display it? How do you get it to them?
Yeah, so we've not got deep into that. We have spent some time with some integrators and know that it's actually very doable. The minimum, by the way, it could be flat files that are uploaded into those systems. But the truth is one of the things that we're going to do with this rehab hospital, they have clinicians that are going to be part of these grant-funded trials. Part of the explicit the explicit outline of what it is we're going to do with them is to have them help us understand how best to package that data. Because reality is no physical therapist or clinician wants to see a whole bunch of data dump. It's going to be mostly focused around red flags being raised around things. Or what they've said to us already is I love the idea that I can go onto a dashboard and I can tell my patient I want them to work on the following specific things. And in the app, they're seeing how they're doing against it. In the wild, they're getting daily reports on how they're doing. So those are the things we're actually going to work with this hospital on teasing out, along with this major value-based care provider. They've already started to give us some insights, but the truth is we're some distance from having that completely nailed down.
I have a follow-up question, and that is, you have a number of channels that you can pursue with this data.
Yeah.
What's the top two that are the most promising? Thank you.
Yeah, it's been one of the biggest challenges for me is that I can speak to 20 different healthcare professionals and they'll tell me 20 different things, ways in which our data can be used. For good or bad, what we've narrowed in on is the value-based care side, frankly. We see there's a big opportunity with this major system. I mean, they're leaning in so aggressively because they have more flexibility around how they would deploy a technology like this within the confines of their capitated approach towards care. And there's so much money slopping around in a way, and there's so many facets to those broader, bigger healthcare systems.